Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, depending on what side of the pod you're on, and welcome to Across the Pitch EFL League One Week 11 review. My name is Phil Kennedy, and as always for these episodes, I am joined by Tony Robinson. But before we jump in, I do just want to announce real quickly, this is going to be episode number 199 in our catalog. Yesterday, we also recorded what will be episode number 200 in our catalog, which is a very special guest, Burley Premier League legend Paul Fletcher. And then with the League One season going into a bit of a break, as you may have noticed, I only said Week 11 review because our Week 12 preview will come along with the quarterly preview show that we talked about that will be coming up at the beginning of what will be Across the Pitch Season 4. What I'm getting at here basically is this is the second to the last episode of Season 3, and then we will be taking not quite a full week off, but we'll be returning next Wednesday. We'll record the first episode of Season 4. But for now, we have 11 results from Tuesday to go over. Tony?
Well, I tell you, I hope people are keeping track, and there's no quiz afterwards, because I don't think I'd pass that with all the information you just gave out, Phil. That was well done, and what an accomplishment, and under your leadership to get to 200 episodes and going into season 4 is just something. I'm sure when you got this off the ground that was something way down the road you probably didn't imagine.
Well, absolutely, Tony. And first and foremost, I never could have done it without your contributions, especially on the Accrington Stanley current player interviews and then these recent League One interviews. As I believe Darren Woodhead put it when you joined the staff, you became the jalapenos on the pizza that is across the pitch.
Well, I'll take it as a compliment, I guess.
Well, before we jump in, I do have one other announcement. As one of the show's co-founders, Aaron Ayers, you may have noticed he has not been on for a while. The good news is that at the beginning with season 4, he is going to be coming back, and basically Aaron and myself are going to be doing a weekly show about a club that him and I follow in the Premier League. And that's going to be kind of a new addition to the Across the Pitch family, basically a new series with a founding co-host rejoining us. And so that will be another exciting thing that we have. So Tony, right now, just kind of as a regular series hit Across the Pitch, we have these League One preview episodes that we're doing. We have the Accrington current players interviews. We have Darren's Legends series. We're going to continue to do the 15-minute Across the Pitch extras. We have Across the Pub now, which is the monthly magazine style show we're going to do about all things Accrington. And now Aaron's going to kind of rejoin the fold. And him and I are going to kind of sit down for 30 minutes each week and talk about Arsenal. We don't have a name for that yet, but it's going to be a full slate for season 4.
I'll tell you, we got more spin-offs than the Law and Order series, Phil.
Or CSI.
That's better. That's CSI. Let's go with that one. No, it's great. I'm looking forward to the next season, and this league, the League One that we're covering now, is proving to be really exciting, and it's a lot of fun doing these review and previews. So I'm ready to get at it when you are, Phil.
Yeah, these have become some of my favorite episodes, Tony. And let's start off with the big matches that we made predictions on. And I think I actually did horribly. So you could just read yours.
Okay, which one do you want to start with?
Well, you've got the list. So
okay, well, we'll leave the toilet bowl till later. Let's kick off with Sunderland at home to Ipswich. That ended up Sunderland winning 2-1 over Ipswich. You and both I had a 1-1 draw in this one, Phil, and as we said, it came out 2-1 for Sunderland. I think I'm looking at the highlights of this one. Not a lot of shots on target by both teams, only 2 for both teams. And to be honest with you, Phil, I think this one should have been a draw, and I think Ipswich were hard done by with not getting a point out of this.
Well, absolutely, because Tony, the first thing I look at is so Charlie White got on the board for Sunderland in the 8th minute, and then Jack Lancaster got on the board in the 38th minute for Ipswich. Looked like we were headed for that 1-1 draw because I think both teams are, kind of known to get conservative late in the match. But then we had Ipswich with Andre Dozell. He got sent off in the 72nd minute, and then it took an 84th minute penalty kick from Grant Ledbetter for Sunderland to capture that full 3 points. So, when I look at the game is running 1-1 into the 72nd minute, and then Ipswich has a send-off, and Sunderland is granted a penalty in those final 18 minutes. That tells me that, maybe if it had stayed 9-on-9, and did you have a chance to see the replay? Did you think that was a clear penalty, Tony?
Well, by the rules of the law, that from what I've seen, yes, it was a handball. I mean, it's one of those. So when you look at in the Premier with VAR, I'm sure they would have given that. The harshness, I could see where the players maybe think that's a bit harsh because of the short distance he traveled. But you could see the reaction from the player afterwards that he knew he hit it with his hand, and that tells me a lot, Phil. So I think it was a penalty.
Yeah, I think that it definitely was a penalty by the laws of the game, as you said, and I think you kind of hit the nail on the head there, where it was kind of a short distance, hard luck, where the guy's hand just happened to be where the ball was going, type of thing. And to me, that's more of a happenstance penalty than say the center back drags down a guy at the box or something like that. So I mean, I think the 1-1 probably was where this was going, but like you said, Ipswich got a little snake bit.
Yeah, and they had 55% possession, which is really good for an away team, and that alone, when you're playing away, should give you some encouragement. 2 shots out of 6, as we mentioned. I think Ipswich are a team that's going to be there about at the end of the season, and unlucky not to come away with a point.
All right, Tony, what was the next one I got wrong on that list?
Let's go to Lincoln versus Portsmouth.
This will actually double as my surprise of the week. Not so much surprise that Portsmouth won, but had it been 1-0 Portsmouth, that wouldn't have been surprise of the week. But just anybody getting 3 goals against Lincoln, I think that's news to begin with. And then, like we talked about, Portsmouth had been held at 0 in their previous game. I thought they might be headed into another scoring slump, but in the 5th minute, Marquis said, nope, no scoring slump. And then he got a brace in the second half, and that was pretty much all she wrote. Tom Hopper did get a 73rd minute goal for Lincoln, but I like I said, this one really surprises me, the scoreline especially.
Well, this was the one match that I looked at that I thought Portsmouth could win this one, and I had a 2-1 win, and it was actually 3-1 as we mentioned. So I'm going to give myself half a point on that one for getting the away win. I thought really at 3-0, Portsmouth were really dominating, and Appleton said that he thought his team was between the boxes was the better team, and I'm not sure what he was looking at, because I thought I thought Portsmouth, the build up to their goals was excellent, and could have had more than three. I think it was humbling for Lincoln. It brought them back down to earth a bit. Appleton did mention that injuries played a part in it, but they play a part in every League One. That's why you have, hopefully you have a deep enough squad to carry carry the team. But I thought Portsmouth were full value for that win, and 3-1 was probably not the bad scoreline, really.
Yeah, I mean, when I look at the stats, especially for shots on target, what I see is I don't think Lincoln played bad on offense necessarily, but their defense, it just wasn't good. I see that, Portsmouth 9 of 18 shots on target. And then, anytime you see a keeper allow 3 goals, you think maybe he had an off game. I mean, Alex Palmer still stopped 6 out of 9 shots that he saw, which, I mean, it's, about what you'd expect. You want your keeper to stop about 2 out of every 3 shots, and then anything better than that is a bonus. So, I mean, he had an average game by keeper standards. I mean, giving up 9 shots on target, you're just not going to win very often.
No, and when you look at the away table, Portsmouth are number 1 in the league for on the away table. If they can get their act together at home, they're going to be a team to contend with. But they're definitely were clear heads and shoulders the best team on the pitch on the Tuesday.
I think one other thing I want to point out in terms of Portsmouth is our friend Callum Johnson. He hit 7 crosses in that match, which led Portsmouth. And I've been looking at his numbers, and he's been solid. He's been playing the full 90 at right back every week for Portsmouth. But this is the first game where he had some numbers that really jumped off the chart at me. Like I said, 7 crosses, was top on the team. Also, he had 4 tackles won, which was tied for top of the team. So, he also had 2 interceptions. So, I mean, anytime a defender could have, especially like a fullback like him, 7 crosses, 4 tackles won, 2 interceptions. Good game, Callum.
Yeah, it takes a while. It usually takes a few matches for a new player to settle into the squad. And so that's about right for where he should be starting to contribute more and more. And obviously he did on Tuesday.
Absolutely. What was the last one before we get to the toilet bowl, Tony?
Well, the other one was not really a classic match, but one we previewed was Crewe Alexander at home to Gillingham. And Gillingham came away with a 1-0 away win, which after, I think they have 4 losses in a row, Phil. After that, that was a much needed win for them.
I'm going to call this our Tuesday night special. Because this is one of those games that I think if it had happened on a Saturday afternoon instead of a Tuesday night, we would have seen a different result. John Akindi, who is a guy that I really liked, he was on Lincoln City last year. He was also part of Lincoln's League 2 championship team. He was a guy that I thought was a real nice addition for Gillingham. He did get the winning goal in this one, so it looks like that signing is starting to pay off. But overall, I just look at, this one comes down to shooting percentage. This is the classic game that's an illustration of making best use of your attempts and getting the better of the attempts. 3 of 7 shots on target, 43% for Gillingham. 4 of 21, 19% for Crewe. This is just one of those games where you've got a team that's maybe being a little too ambitious on their shooting attempts, if you will.
Yeah, I think when you get 74% at home, you expect to get a result. 24 chances, but shots on target, shots I should say, and only 4 on target. that's a poor efficiency in anybody's books. And when you leave it open for a team that can, all they need is one goal to win. And full credit to Gillingham, it was an important win for them, and disappointing for Crew.
Yeah, I mean, Kidney, he's one of those guys that maybe doesn't look like your prototypical center forward, but he's a guy that knows how to find the back of the net. He's played on teams that have won before, so I think he's an excellent guy for that side that it maybe is lacking. They've lost a lot of players, had experience exit over the past few years. So, certainly having a veteran like him is going to be big for them.
Yep, for sure. And that leads us to our Toilet Bowl match from Tuesday.
I remember with this one that I think that you went 1-1, and I said, well, I was thinking either 1-1 or it'll just go something ridiculous like 5-4, and well, we got the 1-1.
Yeah, we did get the 1-1, and I didn't mention the prediction, the results that we predicted for Crew and Gillingham. You had a 2-0 win for Crew. I had a 2-1 win, and so we were both wrong on that one with an away win for the Gills. But back to Shrewsbury, you thought there were going to be some goals in this one, Phil, with a 3-2 win for Shrewsbury, but I just didn't see it, and luckily I got this one right, but it was close. It took some time. I never lost faith. Only took 9 minutes of extra injury time to get that one, and then it didn't hit the back of the net. It just went over the line, and they cleared it out. So obviously the linesman. Obviously,
was Malik Boldawi refereeing this one?
I don't know.
Our USL fans will appreciate.
Okay, it was one of those. If you look at the shots, both teams had a fair number of shots on target. Shrewsbury 7 out of 15, very good efficiency, almost 50%, Phil, and 4 for Burton Albion out of 12, which is not quite what we were looking at, but it's not far off. But I got to tell you, from what I saw of Burton, the keeper for Burton Albion, he just doesn't look like a player that's got much confidence. He didn't have that control or possession in the box, command, I should say. That's the word I'm looking for. Mm-hmm. In the box, and he struggled at times, and I think that's part of the problem with Burton Albion is that there are too many players having bad games all at one time.
Well, let me ask you this, because I see what you're saying. This actually brings in an interesting discussion. So I see that Kieran O'Hara, who is the Burton goalie you're referring to, he stopped 6 out of 7 shots on target, 86%. So that to me, that looks like a good stat line. But this goes back to the whole Waugh-Hoshick corollary that we've talked about before, where the 2 Hall of Fame NHL goaltenders, where I used to always say that, Patrick Waugh, he saw less shots because once the shot was taken at him, he would cover it up and put it out for a face-off, where Dominic Hasek, he would be making the save while getting in position to save the rebound. It was just 2 different styles, and both were effective. So do you think that it's a matter of that maybe O'Hara is just a Hasek, or do you think he just kind of looked out of sorts?
Well, it's possible he was out of sorts, because he certainly didn't have that confidence as he's in the match. And as a defender, if you have a keeper that is not confident and not commanding his box, that affects you as a defender. So,
well, do you think that maybe that's where the problem is maybe he's not confident in the defenders in front of him? Maybe that at this point in the season, he must feel like he's standing inside of a pinball machine every Saturday.
Well, I think we'll cover more on this when we do our preview show on Burton. But I just think it was a poor match, from him. I think Burton, they might think they should have had the win, but I think based on the stats, I think a draw was probably fair for both teams.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I do need to mention is there's somebody I owe an apology to. And this goes back to our previous show, and usually I'm kind of a guy who's always looking for the positive, if you will. But there was one guy that I kind of questioned the signing in our previous show. I had looked at this guy and said, well, yeah, he's been an effective scorer in League Two, but he's been very average in League One. And I just kind of questioned whether or not he had what it takes for League One. Then when Burton signed Indiana Vasilev, I kind of said, well, okay, this guy's going to lose his starting job now. Well, not only has Kane Hemmings not lost his starting job, but he did record in the 59th minute what was his 5th goal in 11 matches this season. So my apologies, Kane Hemmings, at least through the first quarter of 2020-21 season. You are an elite center forward in League One.
Just think where they'd be without him, Phil.
All right, Tony. Well, let's get to the rest of the matches on the docket here, and we do have to, of course, mention real quickly that Hull City and Accrington was postponed. Good news is it sounds like when things kick back off, even with the FA Cup on Saturday, that Stanley will be back in action and that the COVID problems are, at least for now, in the past.
I think having a FA Cup match is going to be good for Stanley because of the time off. And if they win, yes, great, you go to the next round. But if it's a loss, I think it will help the players get back into some match fitness. So I think it's the good timing this Saturday for Stanley having an FA Cup match and not a league match.
Couldn't agree with you more. However, speaking of league matches, let's take a look at Bristol Rovers versus the posh Peterborough United. It was Peterborough getting the 2-0 road win in this one. I don't think any real surprises here, especially the form that Peterborough's been on. Maybe the only surprise is that Johnson Clark Harris didn't get on the board.
Well, I think it was a result everybody expected, and you look at Bristol and being the home team, they did have just the edge on possession. I was a little surprised with Peterborough only having 4 shots on target out of 14, but obviously scoring on 2 of them. But it's a win. It's a win that everybody, I think, had in the cards, and it just shows you that Peterborough are a quality team, and they're going to win matches where they don't have all the possession and they don't have a ton of shots on target. So I think a good win for Peterborough, and probably not too surprising for Bristol fans that they lost this one.
Yeah, nothing too interesting about this game. So I'm going to jump straight to one that is a pretty interesting result to me overall. I wouldn't say a shock in who won it, but just, we talk about how every week there's a game that ends up with more goals in it than we expected. And for this week, at least to me, that's Charlton 3, Fleetwood Town 2. With the form that Charlton's been in, no big surprise that they get the win, especially at home, even as good as Fleetwood's been playing. But I think that, 3-2, that really just proves out that this was a heavyweight battle between 2 champions, if you will. A couple notes in this one. We've been following Callum Camps a bit, and I have to think, he must be nursing some kind of an injury because he started this match on the bench, didn't sub on until the 72nd minute, and just the form he's been in, I can't imagine he wouldn't be starting every game if he was fully fit. Chet Evans, he did continue his role with a brace. He quickly scored at the 33rd and 34th minute for Fleetwood. Also, our friend Sam Findlay, he made an appearance for Fleetwood. He subbed on in the 78th minute, and at 90+4 got a yellow card.
There you go. That's a typical Sam Findlay match, but and that was a good result, a good match, really. And Charlton, they fell behind when the Evans got 2 quick goals, but Charlton's a strong team, and obviously didn't really panic. No, a good result for Charlton. Lots of goals, really, but most of them in the first half, at 2-2 at halftime. When you get to Fleetwood, they score back-to-back, and that didn't seem to fizz Charlton because, they come back with, although a penalty, they did get the winner in the second half. And I think Charlton, Fleetwood are a good team, but I think Charlton are surprising a lot of people because of what went on at the beginning of the season off the pitch. Playing at home, I was really surprised when I saw that Fleetwood had 65% of the possession, and yet they lost. I'll bet you Joey Barton's not a happy camper with that. And they 7 shots and 4 on target. With all those stats, you'd expect to come away with something.
Well, I'll tell you what, I mean, we have 2 goalkeepers on here that didn't necessarily put on a goalkeeping clinic, and they were 2 guys that have been playing well. I mean, Ben Amos, he's a guy that's tied for the league lead in clean sheets. He only stopped 2 out of the 4 shots that got to him. And then your Canadian brother, Jason Lutweiler, he stopped 2 out of the 4 shots that he saw from the field. That penalty accounting for the 3rd goal. So, I mean, to me, that penalty just really ended up being the difference in this one. And, just going back to what you had said about the typical Sam Findlay game, and just to talk about the positive side about that, I did joke about the yellow card earlier and how he only needed 13 minutes to be the only player on Fleetwood to get a yellow card the whole day. But in 13 minutes, he did also hit 3 crosses into the box. So, I mean, if that's not your epitome of a Sam Findlay game, making all kinds of things happen, and then getting that 1 bad foul, I mean, that's Sam Findlay right there.
You mentioned about Ben Amos. I think he probably has a hand in more than if you want to say that, a hand in the win, because